Hello, thank you for joining me today on Becca's World. I'm your host, Blind Becca. Today, as my guest, I have Norm Nilsen, aka Stormy Normie. He is a team member here at Blue Butterfly Enterprises. He does our music. Thank you for joining me today, Stormy Normie. How are you?
Good, and you're welcome.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your journey with your blindness?
I was diagnosed with a deteriorating retina at about 12 years old and became legally blind about 20, totally blind about 40, and 52 now. So, yeah, I find it's been easier having no functional vision than partial vision. I had a lot more accidents when I was thinking I was seeing what wasn't there.
I understand what that's like. So, Norm, can you tell me about what mobility tool you use and why?
I use a cane. I use a folding cane for easy storage when I get places.
Okay. Have you always used a cane?
I started about 23. I should have been using one at night from probably 12 years old, but I was stubborn, so until I needed it during the day, I really didn't get the training for it. About 23 years old.
Okay. What was that like for you when you finally got the training at the age of 23?
Well, I could still see a lot, so I was kind of cheesed it, I mean, it took losing all functional vision and then retraining to really get really good with it,
Uh-huh. So, can you tell me about your life's experience with music? How old were you when you really realized music was going to be important in your life?
Well,
and why? Can you tell me?
It always moved right through me, right through my soul. I could always feel the music, just cranking it up in my bedroom on my radio.
Uh-huh.
So I just got drawn to it and started with a trumpet at 10 and drums for a couple of years and a drum and bugle corps for a couple of years and guitar for a couple of years and then bass at about 16 and 38 years later I'm still playing bass, but a lot less live, bars, parties, and festivals, trying to do more soundtrack work like with you and anybody else who wants to hire me. And I'm also writing with a band, Soldier, that is from the Phoenix area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the classic rock vein. I think anybody who checks that out will like it.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like music gave you an out or something as a blind adolescent or a blind youth or throughout your life?
Oh, it's definitely been therapeutic, through the fear of the unknown, each stage of blindness that you go through, even though it's a slow, gradual loss in compensation, is relatively easy. It's still, still is a big challenge and a big overtaking.
Norm, can you tell me about your future plans? What are your dreams and aspirations?
Well, to be able to play music again and perform live and record and just keep doing what I can do. Things are starting to pick up now that I've teamed up with Blue Butterfly Enterprises. That's good. I was having a lot of stagnant time. And they're just rehearsing a new drummer with his whole Durham band, so that's should be ready to start doing some live feed with them in a month or two.
Okay. Hey, Stormy, you want to smoke a bowl?
Yeah.
Let me light this real quick.
A staple of my life since I was 14. I, of course, have a Arizona medical marijuana card holder, as do you, Miss Becca.
Stormy, when you were smoking at the age of 14, did you notice it did anything to your vision?
No. But it definitely helped the anxiety of unknown fears, blindness. For sure. Gotcha. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Stormy.
You're welcome.
So, um, what was it like as a blind musician? Um, going to places you hadn't been before and
Oh,
traveling
good
and
question.
performing.
Mobility challenges everywhere, everywhere, especially back on the East Coast. Things are steep stairs and narrow passageways, and always challenging, always lifting things the wrong way.
Was it, Norm? I'm asking this for the sake of our viewers. I know the answer to these questions, but um, can you tell us about the first time you traveled as a blind musician somewhere you had never been? Can you tell us what that was like? Because some of our viewers are maybe blind people who have never traveled, and they might not know how it's done and what it's like.
Well, we went from New York to Sturgis, South Dakota for Bike Week.
Mm-hmm.
The Black River Blues Band that was part of Power Trio. It was really good band. So yeah, we did that, and it was about 32, 36 hours, each way, and we were there for, I think, a total of 8 days. It was 10 days with the travel, anyways. Yeah.
And so, but as a blind traveler, do you hesitate to go to places like that because you're concerned that you will have problems like with orientation and stuff, or how did you deal with
Well,
it, Stormy?
if I was always an explorer, when I was a kid and an adolescent, so that just continues, I mean, that's just part of who you are. So, you're going to seek out the mobility that you're used to as a sighted person just as well if you lose your sight,
What about
It doesn't go away.
so? I'm still reaching some more here, Stormy. What about viewers who have never been sighted, who've been blind their whole lives, but they've never taken the plunge and just gone somewhere they've never been before because they're a little hesitant to do so?
Well, you better have your mobility instruction, completed, but if you're going to go traveling abroad, so shall we say, from your hometown anyway.
Uh-huh. But it is possible, right?
Well, you and I do it. Yeah, we know
Yeah.
it's possible. We
Yeah.
did our
Right.
comprehensive training.
Right. But it is possible with the proper training.
Yes,
And
total
so
independence.
there you go. That's what I was going for. If you are blind and you're sitting at home watching this and you're living with your parents or some other loved one who is quote unquote taking care of you, you can get the training you need to live independently. That was where I was going with that. And you can even go into unfamiliar places you've never been before once you have the proper training. And that's why you can live independently without having to have someone take care of you and lead you around by the hand. Thank you, Stormy.
You're welcome.
So now where were we going at before we got off talking about that? We were talking about, I believe, your early music career when you were traveling with a band, right, in your 20s?
That was in my latter 30s.
Okay.
The Sturgis one, but I traveled around just for other reasons, of course, family and being spread out in different states and things.
And so did you partake in music when you would travel around to different areas too?
Yeah. I had an offer to play in Tucson in the 90s for a few years. I did that.
Wow.
I was in Nashville for a few years in the latter 90s, and back in New York from 2000 on till I came here 2015.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so you've been here since 2015?
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your professional history with us. What about your romantic history, Norm? Do you feel comfortable discussing that as a blind person, of how that has been?
How so discuss it?
You're so disgusted?
How so discuss it? How so do you want to discuss it?
Well, do you want to talk about if you've ever been married, if you have children, what it was like being married as a blind person, what it was like having children as a blind person?
It's compensation, like anything else. Doesn't come with a manual. You have to figure it out as you go along. But yeah, I have 4 children and 4 stepchildren, and I was engaged to the older kid's mom and married to the younger two mom for about 7 years each. It's been rough holding on to relationships, being a traveling musician. And, the years of playing in endless bars and festivals and parties and stuff like that. It's a strain when people want to have some more consistency than that. So you live and learn. You have to do what's best for everybody involved in the choices you make along the way.
Norm, would you like to hit this?
Yeah, let me put my water down.
It's the pipe.
I figured. Coming at you. Whoa, this way. Okay.
And there's the lighter. So you have children and you have history that way.
3 boys and 1 girl. 29, 27, almost 19. October. Yeah.
So Norm, back to all the different instruments that you taught yourself how to play, or maybe you had some guidance early on with that.
Fundamentals I always inquired about. Yeah.
Were there any of those instruments that you found were more difficult to learn because you were blind, or do you feel they were easier for you to learn because of your blindness?
Well, you have to just compensate along the way. I used to put tape markers on the back of my neck for the chord markers on the front of the fretboard. So
which instrument are you referring to?
the bass guitar, anyways.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes even a 6-string acoustic if I had one laying around. But yeah, it helps me have an anchor point for certain positions. And now I have them laminated right, wood strips right on the back of the neck, so I have a raised area where to fret the notes every other fret.
Norm, that is fascinating. Thank you for describing to us how you made your bass guitar accessible to you as a blind man. Did you have to do that with any other instruments?
Well, like I said, if I had a 6-string acoustic guitar laying around, I would do it to that, or occasional electric. That, I'd acquire here and there.
Did you have to make any alterations to drum sets when you played them,
Well, no, I've never played them too well. Not when I was younger. I could see well. I haven't played much on drums in
so is the bass the only instrument you've played as a blind person then? Or
well, I guess you'd say. Excuse me. Yeah.
So how did you learn how to mark your bass so you could do that? Surely you went to school and someone taught you to do that, right?
Yeah.
Really? So how does a blind person just know how to mark their bass guitar?
I was not legally blind yet, but I was night blind, and the light show went out at a grad party we were playing, this band I was in, and a friend of mine just said, "Hey, I got an idea," and he just did it.
Oh, really? It was your friend's idea?
Yeah.
I thought you came up with that on your own.
No, I did
Wow.
not. Who's to say I might not have eventually, but we are very both common sense people, so it's just natural that he would have thought of it as well.
So how much did that simple fix cost to make your bass guitar accessible? Was it very expensive?
No, I used to just use tape and stick it on there.
Right.
It would get nice and sticky and go all over the place. But
So it's a cheap and easy solution to make something accessible.
It's better to have laminated strips of wood glued on there. It's much cleaner and easier and stays longer. I like it that way.
Norm, thank you so much for sharing that information with me. As a housewife and mother over the years, I have used my own techniques to mark appliances and stuff like that to make them accessible to me. And I never really thought of other people doing that sort of stuff for other reasons, but that's fascinating. Honestly, it just goes to show me and our viewers that there's really a lot of different ways you can make stuff tactily accessible to the blind. At some point, I can do a video showing the viewers about my appliances and discussing with them how we make those accessible as blind people. Thank you for your time today, Stormy.
You're welcome.
If you would like to investigate Stormy and his experience as a blind musician or talk to him about his talents and skills, you can reach out to him here at Blue Butterfly Enterprises. Reach out to him through our website, bluebutterflyenterprises.com. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.